Everyone thinks I'm strong. They saw my smile when Dad died, and Mom followed 6 months later. They saw my determination when I dropped out of architecture school to help Grandpa Ernest at the bakery. They saw my genuine joy serving warm bread at 5 in the morning, as if there was nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. What no one sees are my hands trembling at 3 in the morning, when I wake up calculating how much time we have before losing everything. "Liza, sweetheart, you need to go home and rest." Grandpa Ernest's voice pulls me from my thoughts as I close the register. It's 8 at night, and the Morning Star Bakery is finally empty after another chaotic day. "I'm going, Gramps. Just need to check the accounts." He approaches, his hands marked by the flower of 72 years of life resting on the counter. His blue eyes, still bright, despite the cataract insisting on advancing, study me with that irritating wisdom only grandparents possess. You've got that look again, like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. I force a smile. I'm a specialist in forged smiles. "Not at all, Gramps. Just tired." Lie number 347 I tell to protect him. Because Grandpa Ernest can't know the bank is threatening to take the bakery. Can't know that the loan he took 2 years ago, believing in a partner's promise who disappeared with half the money, became an unpayable snowball. Can't know that in 30 days we'll lose the only place in the world that still holds my parents' memory. The smell of childhood. The reason I wake up every day. "Liza Mendonça, you inherited your grandmother's stubbornness." He sighs, but smiles. "I'm heading upstairs. Don't be long." When he finally climbs the stairs leading to the small apartment above the bakery, I let the smile collapse. I open the folder of documents I hide under the counter and face once again the bank's notification. Last chance. Full payment in 30 days or debt execution. $120,000. Might be the price of an economy car for some people, but for us it's equivalent to a small country's GDP. I've tried everything. Loans denied. Investors uninterested in neighborhood bakeries with no growth potential. Online campaigns that raise touching crumbs, but insufficient ones. I even considered selling my kidney, but apparently there's annoying bureaucracy involved. The doorbell chimes. I look up, ready to say we're closed, and the words die in my throat. The man entering the bakery seems to have materialized from an expensive perfume commercial. Navy blue suit that probably costs more than my debt, black hair impeccably combed back, jawline that looks sculpted by Michelangelo on a particularly inspired day. He examines the environment with an expression oscillating between curiosity and disdain, as if he'd accidentally entered a museum of questionable antiquities. "We're already closed," I manage to say, though my voice comes out weaker than ideal. He ignores me completely, walks to the counter with steps echoing irritating confidence, and places a leather briefcase on the glass. "Liza Mendonça." My stomach contracts. Nobody who arrives with a leather briefcase after business hours brings good news. "Who's asking?" "Someone with the solution to your problem." He crosses his arms, and I swear I see an amused glint in his dark brown eyes. "My name is Dante Cavalcanti, and I have a proposal that will save your bakery." My heart races. It's a scam. Has to be a scam. Handsome men with magical solutions don't show up at bankrupt bakeries at 8 at night on a random Tuesday. "I'm not interested in $120,000, he interrupts, and the world stops. "That's what you need, isn't it? I can transfer it to your account tonight. Single payment, no interest, no tricks." My mouth opens, but no sound comes out. It's like someone punched me in the stomach and stole all the air from my lungs. "How do you—" I swallow hard. "What do you want?" The smile he opens is slow, dangerous, and does something strange to my heart rate. "You, for 30 days. And there goes my theory about him not being an organ trafficker. "Excuse me, what?" He sighs, as if I were a particularly slow child. "Nothing sexual. Before your mind goes to sordid places," he says with a dismissive wave. "I need a wife. Temporary. For reasons you don't need to know. It's essential that I appear married during the next 4 weeks. Business meetings, social dinners, corporate event at the mansion. You pretend to be my loving wife, smile at the right people, and at the end of 30 days each of us goes our separate way. Simple. 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 This man clearly lost touch with the concept of simplicity at some point in his life. You're insane, I managed to articulate. Pragmatic, he corrects. You urgently need money. I temporarily need a wife. It's a mutually beneficial commercial transaction. There are agencies for this. Actresses, women who actually know. You're perfect, he interrupts, and there's something in his tone that makes me shut up. His eyes analyze me with an intensity that should be illegal. Common enough to be credible, pretty enough to be convincing, and desperate enough to accept. The last part hurts because it's true. You don't know me at all, I shoot back, lifting my chin. How do you know I won't steal your things? Sell your story to tabloids? Ruin your precious business? Because you just listed all the reasons why you wouldn't do that. He smiles again, and I really want to throw a French roll at his face. Besides, I have resources to ensure any inappropriate behavior has severe legal consequences. It's all in the contract. He opens the briefcase and places an absurdly thick document in front of me. Must be about 50 pages. You want me to sell 30 days of my life, pretend to be the wife of a complete stranger who's probably a sociopath, and you won't even tell me why? Exactly, he confirms with disturbing naturalness. The why isn't relevant, only the terms. You live in my mansion during this period, participate in the events I specify, act as a dedicated wife in public, and maintain total discretion about the arrangement. In exchange, $120,000 immediately, plus $10,000 weekly for your services, totaling $160,000. Enough money to save this bakery and still have left over for renovations. $160,000. The solution to all my problems, wrapped in the form of an arrogant man with an insane proposal. I need to think. No. He checks a watch that probably costs more than a car. The offer expires in 5 minutes. Either accept now or I'll find someone else. I have a list. You're an asshole, escapes before I can filter. Frequently, he agrees without a hint of remorse. But I'm a rich asshole offering to save your grandfather from financial ruin. So Liza Mendonça, what will it be? Your pride or the Morning Star Bakery? I look at the stairs where Grandpa Ernest went up a few minutes ago. I think about the smell of bread that wakes up the entire neighborhood at 5 in the morning. About Grandma Clara's recipes written by hand in yellowed notebooks. About the afternoons I spent here as a child, stealing pieces of dough while my parents laughed. I think about everything I can lose. I think about everything I can save. Do you have a pen? My voice comes out hoarse. Dante Cavalcanti smiles like a predator who just captured his prey. Excellent choice. 20 minutes later, after signing each page of that absurd contract without really reading, bad idea number 203 of my life, after providing my bank details with trembling hands, after watching Dante make a transfer on his phone like someone ordering pizza, I stare at the notification on my phone. Transfer received, $120,000. It's real. All of this is crazily, impossibly real. A car will pick you up tomorrow at 7 in the morning, Dante informs, putting away his briefcase. Bring only the essentials. Appropriate clothing will be provided. Wait, sudden panic. Tomorrow? But I need to explain to my grandfather, organize who's going to take care of the bakery. 18 hours, he interrupts me for the 1,000th time. The contract specifies you have 18 hours to settle your personal affairs. I suggest you use the time wisely. He walks to the door, stops with his hand on the handle and looks back. In the dim light of the bakery, with shadows playing on his absurdly handsome face, he seems less cruel businessman and more tired, human. One last thing, Liza. His voice carries a different tone now, almost soft. Over the next 30 days, you're going to hate me. You'll question this decision repeatedly. But in the end, I promise it will all be worth it. And then he's gone, leaving only the doorbell chiming and the persistent scent of expensive cologne mixed with the bread aroma that defines my entire life. I look at my phone, at the impossible notification, at the contract I just signed. What have I just done? I climb the stairs with jelly legs, find Grandpa Ernest sleeping in the armchair with the television still on. I cover him with a blanket, kiss his wrinkled forehead, and murmur a promise he can't hear. I'm going to fix everything, Gramps. Even if it costs me 30 days in a sociopathic millionaire's personal hell. I go to my tiny room, throw myself on the bed, and finally allow reality to hit me with full force. In 18 hours, my life is going to change completely. 30 days, as Dante Cavalcanti's fake wife. What could possibly go wrong? My phone vibrates. A message from an unknown number. Sleep well, wife. Tomorrow begins the best and worst 30 days of your life. D. I close my eyes, and for the first time in months I don't dream about debts and bank notifications. I dream about dark brown eyes, dangerous smiles, and the disturbing feeling that I just made a deal with the devil. A very well-dressed devil who, for the next 30 days, I'm going to have to call husband. Heaven help me. Actually, scratch that. At this point, I'm going to need all the luck in the universe, divine intervention not included. The black Mercedes that arrives at exactly 7 in the morning looks so out of place in front of our modest bakery that Mrs. Cordero from across the street actually stops sweeping to stare. I'm wearing my best jeans, the ones without flour stains, and a blue blouse that Mom said made my eyes look like the ocean. Grandpa Ernest insisted on making me breakfast, and I nearly broke down 3 times while eating his famous cinnamon rolls. This job opportunity is really that good? He asks for the 4th time, his watery eyes searching mine for truth I can't give him. Another lie. I told him a catering company hired me for a month-long exclusive event. Corporate thing. Good money. He believed it because he wants to believe his granddaughter is finally catching a break. It's temporary, Gramps. Mariana will help with the bakery while I'm gone, and I'll call you every day. You're all I have left, little star, he whispers, using the nickname that makes my throat tight. Come back to me. Always, I promise, hugging him like I'm 5 years old again. The driver, a stern-looking man in his 50s who introduces himself simply as Thomas, loads my single battered suitcase into the trunk with an expression that screams judgment. Apparently, fake wives of millionaires are expected to have more luggage. The drive to Dante's mansion takes 40 minutes, each one pulling me further from everything familiar. We leave the colorful chaos of my neighborhood and enter a world of manicured lawns, iron gates, and houses that could swallow my bakery whole. When we finally stop in front of Dante's estate, my jaw literally drops. It's not a house. It's a monument to excessive wealth. 3 stories of white stone and glass, with columns that belong in a Greek temple and windows so large I could probably see my entire life's poor decisions reflected in them. Miss Mendonça. Thomas opens my door with mechanical precision. Mr. Cavalcanti is waiting in his office. The interior is worse. Everything screams money and zero warmth. Marble floors so shiny I can see my reflection, abstract art that probably costs more than a kidney, and a chandelier that looks like it was stolen from Versailles. A woman in her 30s with a severe bun and a tablet appears from nowhere. I'm Helena, Mr. Cavalcanti's personal assistant. Follow me. We walk through hallways that seem designed to intimidate. She stops in front of massive wooden doors, knocks twice with military precision, and pushes them open. Dante's office is exactly what I expected. Enormous desk, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, and windows overlooking gardens that probably require a full-time staff. He's standing with his back to me, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in rapid Italian that sounds both aggressive and somehow musical. He ends the call and turns. Today he's wearing a charcoal suit that probably costs more than my monthly income for the next decade. His dark eyes sweep over me with an assessment that makes me want to either slap him or hide. You're punctual. Good. He gestures to a chair. Sit. I'm not a dog. I mutter, but sit anyway because my knees feel weak. No, you're my wife, he corrects, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. For the next 30 days, at least. We need to establish ground rules. He slides a folder across the desk. Because apparently everything in Dante's life requires documentation. Rule 1. In public, you're madly in love with me. Touching, smiling, the whole performance. In private, we maintain professional distance. Your bedroom is in the east wing, mine in the west. We don't cross boundaries. Sounds lonely. Escapes before I can stop it. Something flickers in his eyes. Surprise, maybe. But it's gone instantly. Rule 2. You attend every event I specify. Black tie galas, business dinners, the charity auction next week. Helena will coordinate your schedule and wardrobe. Wardrobe? Did you honestly think those clothes would work? He gestures at my outfit with barely concealed disdain. Heat floods my cheeks. These are my best. They're unsuitable, he cuts me off, but his tone softens microscopically. It's not personal. You need to look like you belong in my world. Image is everything in business. Your world sounds exhausting. It is. For a heartbeat, he looks almost human, almost vulnerable. Then the mask snaps back. Rule 3. No questions about why we're doing this. No digging into my past. No trying to fix me or whatever romantic notion you might have. Trust me. Fixing you would require divine intervention and possibly exorcism, I snap. He actually laughs. A short, genuine sound that transforms his entire face. There's the fire. Don't lose that. I can work with angry. I can't work with meek. Lucky you, Meek died around the same time I signed your insane contract. Good. He stands, walks around the desk and extends his hand. Welcome to your temporary hell, Liza Mendonça. Try not to burn the place down. I take his hand, warm, strong, with calluses that surprise me, and meet his gaze directly. No promises, husband. The word hangs between us, loaded with everything absurd about this situation. For 30 days, this arrogant, mysterious, infuriatingly handsome man is my fake husband. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Absolutely everything. But as Helena leads me to my new bedroom, a space 3 times the size of my entire apartment, with a bed that could sleep 5 people, and a closet already filled with designer clothes in exactly my size, one thought keeps circling. How did Dante know my size? And more importantly, what else does he know about me that I don't know he knows? I'm about to find out that 30 days can feel like forever when you're living with the devil. Even if the devil looks really, really good in a suit. I've been in this golden cage for exactly 6 hours when Helena knocks on my door with military precision. Tonight's your first public appearance, she announces, laying out a dress on my California king bed like it's made of spun gold. Maybe it is. Charity Gala, 8 p.m. The car leaves at 7:30. The dress is midnight blue, elegant without being flashy, with a neckline that suggests sophistication rather than desperation. I hate that it's perfect. Does Dante, Mr. Cavalcanti, does he always operate like this? Last minute everything? Helena's expression softens microscopically. He's been different since... She stops herself. Just be ready. And Liza, he's not as cold as he pretends. Before I can ask what she means, she's gone, leaving me with a dress that probably costs more than my car and a growing sense of dread. At 7:15, I'm staring at my reflection like it's a stranger. Professional hair and makeup people appeared at 6. Apparently Dante thinks of everything, transforming my girl-next-door look into something that could grace magazine covers. The dress fits like it was made for my body specifically, which raises more questions I'm not supposed to ask. I'm fastening silver heels when someone knocks. Not Helena's efficient rap, but something slower. Heavier. Come in, I call, and Dante enters. He stops dead in the doorway. For 5 full seconds, he just stares. His eyes travel from my swept-up hair, down the dress, to the ridiculous heels, and back up. Something flashes in his expression. Heat. appreciation, maybe surprise, before the mask slides back into place. "You clean up well," he says, but his voice sounds rougher than usual. "You say the sweetest things," I deadpan. "Really makes a girl feel special." He almost smiles. "We need to go over our story. How we met, how long we've been together, why we got married quickly." "Let me guess. You have it all scripted?" "We met 6 months ago at a coffee shop," he begins, ignoring my sarcasm. "I spilled espresso on your laptop. You threatened to sue me. I was charmed by your fire. We've been inseparable since. Got married last month in a small ceremony because neither of us wanted a circus." "How romantic," I mutter. "Did you also script the part where I fell madly in love with your winning personality?" "That part you'll have to improvise." He extends his arm. "Shall we, wife?" The word still sends a jolt through me. I take his arm, solid muscle beneath expensive fabric, and let him lead me downstairs to where Thomas waits with the Mercedes. In the car, Dante briefs me on who's who. The Castellanos, old money, influential, smile but don't offer opinions on their politics. The Fitzgerald couple, new money, insecure, compliment everything. And if you see Maxwell Torres, avoid him. He's... Dante's jaw tightens. Just avoid him. "This is going to be a disaster," I whisper. His hand finds mine in the darkness. The touch shocks us both. "You're stronger than you think, Liza. Just follow my lead." The ballroom is exactly what I expected. Crystal chandeliers, champagne fountains, people dripping in diamonds and designer labels. Every head turns when we enter, and I feel like a fraud in borrowed feathers. Dante's hand settles on the small of my back, warm and possessive. "Smile," he murmurs near my ear. "You're madly in love with me, remember?" I paste on a smile and lean into him, playing my part. His cologne wraps around me, sandalwood and something darker, more complex. "Dante!" A silver-haired woman in burgundy approaches, air-kissing near his cheeks. "You've been hiding, and this must be the mysterious bride." "Liza, meet Catherine Castellano," Dante introduces smoothly. "Catherine, my wife, Liza Mendonça." Wife. There's that word again, feeling less fake each time. "How did he propose?" Catherine asks with genuine warmth. "Dante's always been so private." I freeze. We didn't script this part. "It was nothing special," I start, but Dante interrupts. "She's being modest," he says, and something in his voice makes me look up. His eyes hold mine with an intensity that steals my breath. "I took her to the bakery where we first met, 5 in the morning before it opened. I said I couldn't imagine my mornings without her smile, or my life without her light. Asked her right there between the ovens and flour bags." He's improvising, he has to be. But the way he's looking at me, like I actually am his light, makes something crack in my chest. "That's beautiful," Catherine sighs. "You're lucky, dear." "I know," I whisper, lost in Dante's gaze. We survive the next 2 hours on autopilot. Him introducing me smiling until my face hurts, both of us playing our roles perfectly. His hand never leaves my waist. When we dance, his body fits against mine like we've done this 1,000 times. "You're a natural liar," I murmur as we sway to string music. "So are you," he counters. "That adoring look you gave me earlier was Oscar-worthy." "Who says I was acting?" The words slip out before I can stop them. Dante's steps falter. His eyes search mine, looking for the joke, the sarcasm. "Liza, Dante Cavalcanti." A cold voice cuts through our moment. "Didn't expect to see you here, especially with company." A man in his 40s approaches, handsome in a practiced way, with cruel eyes and a smile that doesn't reach them. Maxwell Torres, I realize. Maxwell. Dante's entire body goes rigid. "We were just leaving." "Not introducing me to your bride?" Maxwell's gaze rakes over me with appreciation that feels like slime. "Or is she another one of your temporary acquisitions?" "Watch yourself," Dante warns, voice low and dangerous. "Does she know?" Maxwell leans closer, whiskey breath hitting my face. Does your pretty little wife know why you really need her? About the inheritance clause? About... Dante's fist connects with Maxwell's jaw before I process what's happening. The ballroom erupts in gasps and screams. Security rushes forward. We're leaving, Dante grabs my hand, pulling me through the crowd toward the exit. My heart hammers as we burst into the cool night air. Thomas has the car ready. Probably saw this coming. Inside the Mercedes, silence stretches like broken glass. Dante's knuckles are bleeding. His perfect mask is shattered, replaced by something raw and almost frightening. What inheritance clause? I finally ask. He doesn't answer, staring out the window at passing lights. Dante, you said no questions, but that man just... My grandfather's will. He cuts me off, voice hollow. I inherit his company only if I'm married by my 35th birthday, which is in 31 days. Everything clicks into place. The urgency, the contract, the exact 30-day time frame. So I'm just a loophole, I whisper. He looks at me then, and the pain in his eyes steals my breath. You're the only real thing in my life right now, he says quietly, and that terrifies me more than losing everything. The confession hangs between us as the car pulls up to the mansion. We sit in charged silence, his bleeding knuckles and my racing heart the only proof that tonight was real. That maybe, just maybe, we're both in deeper than we planned. I don't sleep. How could I after that confession? At 3 a.m., I give up on the massive bed and wander downstairs in pajama shorts and an oversized t-shirt. The mansion is different at night, less intimidating, more lonely. Like me. I'm halfway to the kitchen when I hear it. Piano music, hauntingly beautiful, drifting from somewhere deeper in the house. I follow the sound like a moth to flame, down a hallway I haven't explored, until I reach a half-open door. Warm light spills out. The music wraps around me, melancholic and raw. I peek inside and freeze. Dante sits at a grand piano, still in his dress shirt, but with sleeves rolled up, tie discarded. His fingers move across keys with the kind of passion I didn't know he possessed. His eyes are closed, face unguarded in a way I've never seen. He's heartbreakingly beautiful like this. Human. The song ends. Silence crashes down. Are you going to keep lurking or actually come in? He asks without opening his eyes. Busted. I push the door wider. How did you know? Your perfume. Vanilla and something sweeter. He finally looks at me, and his gaze travels down my very casual attire with something that looks like appreciation. Can't sleep? Can you? Haven't really slept in 3 years, he admits, patting the bench beside him. Come here. I should refuse, should maintain the professional distance he insisted on. Instead, I cross the room and sit, hyper-aware of our thighs nearly touching. You play beautifully, I say softly. My grandmother taught me, before she died and left everything in chaos. His fingers ghost over the keys without pressing down. She's why I'm doing this. The company was her legacy. I can't let it fall into Maxwell's hands. Maxwell Torres? The charming guy from tonight? His jaw tightens. My cousin. He's been circling like a vulture since my grandfather passed, waiting for me to fail the marriage clause so he can claim everything. He'd destroy everything my grandmother built within a year. So you hired a fake wife. The pieces fall into place. But why me? Why not someone from your world? Because everyone in my world wants something from me, he says, turning to face me fully. Money, status, connections. But you? You just wanted to save your grandfather's bakery. It was refreshing, pure. I'm not pure, Dante. I lied to my grandfather, sold 30 days of my life. I'm basically a... Don't. His hand covers mine on the keys. You're brave. You sacrificed for someone you love. That's not something to be ashamed of. The touch sends electricity up my arm. Our faces are inches apart. I can see gold flecks in his brown eyes, count his eyelashes, feel his breath. "Why did you really punch Maxwell?" I whisper. "Because he looked at you like you were something he could own." His thumb strokes across my knuckles. "And because when he called you a temporary acquisition, I wanted to break every bone in his smug face. That's very possessive for a fake husband." "Yeah." His eyes drop to my lips. "It is." We're leaning closer, gravity pulling us together, when my phone shatters the moment with its harsh ring. We spring apart like guilty teenagers. It's Grandpa Ernest, at 3 a.m. "Gramps!" My heart hammers with panic. "What's wrong?" "Nothing, little star. I couldn't sleep." "Wanted to hear your voice." He sounds small, old in a way that breaks me. "This apartment is too quiet without you." Tears burn my eyes. "I miss you too. This job is good for you, though. I can hear it in your voice. You sound alive again." I glance at Dante, who's watching me with an expression I can't read. "Yeah, Gramps. It's been interesting." We talk for 10 more minutes, about the bakery, about Mrs. Cordero's cat, about nothing important and everything that matters. When I hang up, I'm crying silently. "Hey!" Dante's voice is impossibly gentle. "Come here." He pulls me against his chest, and I let myself break. His arms wrap around me, solid and warm, while I sob into his expensive shirt, about parents who died too young, a grandfather I'm lying to, and a life that feels like it's built on quicksand. "I've got you," he murmurs into my hair. "I've got you." When the tears finally stop, I realize I'm basically in his lap. His heartbeat steady beneath my ear. I should move. Should apologize for ruining his shirt and crossing every boundary he established. Instead, I whisper, "Play something happy." His chest rumbles with quiet laughter. He shifts carefully, keeping one arm around me while the other returns to the keys. He plays something bright and dancing, filling the room with unexpected joy. "What is it?" I ask. "Something my grandmother used to play on Sunday mornings. She said music that makes you want to dance is music that reminds you you're alive." I stand, extending my hand. "Then dance with me." "Liza, no rules, no contracts, just two people who can't sleep, dancing to piano music at 3 a.m. He stares at my hand like it's a grenade. Then, slowly, he stands. But instead of taking my hand, he moves back to the piano. "I'll play, you dance." So I do. I spin and sway in my pajamas, barefoot on cold marble, while a millionaire plays piano like he's pouring his soul into music. It's absurd and perfect and utterly magical. When the song ends, we're both breathless and smiling, real smiles, not the practiced ones we wear for others. "Thank you," I say. "For what?" "For being human. For letting me see the real you, even for just a moment." Something vulnerable crosses his face. "Liza, about what I said earlier." "You're the only real thing in my life, too," I interrupt, "and that terrifies me more than anything." The confession hangs between us, heavy with possibility. "We should sleep," he finally says, but doesn't move. "Yeah, professional distance and all that." "Right, the rules." Neither of us moves for a long moment. Then, simultaneously, we step apart. "Good night, Dante." "Good night, wife." I'm halfway to the door when he calls my name. I turn. "Tomorrow night there's a business dinner, but after..." He hesitates, something boyish and unsure flickering across his face. "Would you want to do this again? The piano, I mean, the talking." My heart does something complicated in my chest. "I'd like that. A lot." His smile could light up the entire city. "It's a date. A fake date. Obviously." "Obviously," I agree, grinning like an idiot. I float back to my room, crawl into bed, and finally sleep with piano music, and the memory of his arms still wrapped around me. 27 days left. I'm absolutely, completely, catastrophically falling for my fake husband. And I think, Terrifyingly, wonderfully, he might be falling too. I wake up to sunlight streaming through silk curtains and the smell of fresh coffee. For a blissful moment, I forget where I am. Then reality crashes back. Mansion, fake marriage, falling for a man I'm supposed to be pretending with. There's a note slipped under my door. Dante's handwriting, sharp and precise. Business calls all day. Dinner at Marcello's at 8. Wear the red dress. D. No please. No explanation. Just commands. Yet somehow, my traitorous heart does a little flip at the idea of seeing him again. Helena appears at noon with the red dress. A stunning number that hugs every curve and makes me look like I belong in his world. She also brings news. The video from last night is everywhere, she says carefully, setting down her tablet. My stomach drops. Video? She shows me. Someone filmed Dante punching Maxwell and it's already gone viral. The headlines are brutal. Cavalcanti heir loses control at charity gala, and who is the mystery woman worth fighting for? This is bad, I whisper. Actually, Helena's lips quirk. It's humanized him. People are calling it romantic, defending his wife's honor. The company's stock actually went up this morning. Of course it did. Because Dante Cavalcanti operates in a universe where even his disasters turn to gold. The day drags endlessly. I try calling Grandpa Ernest 3 times, but he doesn't answer. Probably elbow deep in dough. I wander the mansion like a ghost, discovering a library with first editions, a home gym that's nicer than most fitness centers, and a wine cellar that could stock a small country. At 7:30, Thomas drives me to Marcello's, an Italian restaurant so exclusive it doesn't even have a sign. Dante's already there, seated at a private corner table, and when he sees me, he stands so fast his chair scrapes. You look... He clears his throat. The dress is perfect. You pick well, I manage, trying to ignore how devastating he looks in a black suit. We sit, and there's an awkwardness that wasn't there last night, like we both remember the piano, the almost kiss, the confessions that stripped us bare. About last night. We both start simultaneously. He gestures for me to continue. I just wanted to say thank you. For listening. For... I fidget with my napkin. For being you. Something softens in his expression. I should be thanking you. I haven't talked to anyone like that in years, maybe ever. Not even with... I trail off, realizing I know nothing about his past relationships. There's never been anyone serious, he admits. Hard to trust people when you're never sure if they want you or your bank account. That sounds lonely. It is. His hand finds mine across the table. Or it was. Before you. My breath catches. We're in public, playing our roles. But the way he's looking at me feels dangerously real. The waiter interrupts with wine, and we order without looking at menus. Apparently Dante has his usual. When we're alone again, he leans forward. I need to tell you something. About Maxwell. Okay. He knows. About us. The arrangement. Dante's jaw tightens. He has someone on my staff feeding him information. He's going to try to prove the marriage is fake. Invalidate my grandfather's will. Ice floods my veins. Can he do that? If he finds proof, yes. Which means we need to be more convincing. More... He hesitates. More like a real couple. How much more are we talking? Move into my wing. Share my bedroom, at least publicly. Attend more events together. Sell this completely. His thumb strokes across my knuckles. I know it's asking a lot. I'll do it, I interrupt. Whatever it takes. Liza, that's what you're paying me for, right? To be convincing. The words taste bitter. But I need the reminder. Need the distance before I drown completely. Something flashes in his eyes. Hurt, maybe. Right, the contract. Dinner arrives, and we eat in strained silence. The food is probably amazing, but I taste nothing. The air between us feels fragile, like one wrong word will shatter whatever we built last night. I have something for you, Dante says suddenly, pulling a small box from his jacket. My heart stops. Dante, if that's... Relax. It's not a real ring. But when he opens it, the diamond inside is so massive it could have its own gravitational pull. For appearances, a wife should have a proper ring. He takes my hand, and I'm hyper-aware of every callus, every warm inch of his skin against mine. The ring slides on perfectly, because of course it does. Everything Dante does is calculated, planned, perfect. Except for the way his hand trembles slightly, except for how he doesn't let go even after the ring is in place. It's beautiful, I whisper. It was my grandmother's, the only thing of hers Maxwell can't touch. His voice roughens. I wanted you to have it, even if just for now. The weight of that trust crashes over me. This isn't just a prop. This is his history, his heart, placed literally in my hands. Dante, I can't... You can. You're the only person I trust with it. He finally meets my eyes. The only person I trust with anything. We're leaning across the table, the space between us charged with everything we're not saying. I want to kiss him so badly, it physically hurts. Want to tell him this stopped being fake the moment he played piano for me at 3 a.m. Mr. Cavalcanti. A photographer appears from nowhere, camera flashing. Just a few shots of the happy couple? Dante's mask snaps into place. Of course. He moves to my side of the table, arm sliding around my waist, pulling me close. I lean into him, smiling for the camera, playing my part perfectly. But when the photographer asks us to kiss for one final shot, we both freeze. We're not really, I start. Come on, lovebirds. Just a quick one. Dante looks at me, a silent question in his eyes. I nod slightly. He cups my face with both hands, thumbs stroking my cheeks. The world narrows to just his eyes, dark and intense and full of something that looks terrifyingly like real emotion. Forgive me, he whispers. Then his lips meet mine. It's supposed to be for show. A quick press of lips, nothing meaningful. Except Dante kisses like a man drowning and I'm his only heir. His mouth moves against mine with desperate tenderness, and I melt into him completely, hands fisting in his jacket, pulling him closer. The photographer's camera clicks rapid fire, but I don't care. Don't care about anything except the way Dante tastes like wine and promises, the way his fingers tangle in my hair, the way he makes a small sound in the back of his throat that unravels me completely. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. His forehead rests against mine. That was... He starts. Yeah, I manage. Very convincing. Super convincing. Neither of us moves. The photographer is gone, but we stay tangled together, his grandmother's ring heavy on my finger, his lips still tingling against mine. We should go, he says without conviction. Definitely should. We don't move for another 30 seconds. In the car ride home, Dante holds my hand. Neither of us speaks. We don't need to. Everything just changed, and we both know we're in way too deep to climb back out. 24 days left of pretending. I'm not sure I can pretend anymore. Moving into Dante's wing feels like crossing a line drawn in permanent marker. His bedroom is somehow more intimate than I imagined. Charcoal walls, massive bed with black silk sheets, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the garden. Personal. His space. You take the bed, he says, setting my suitcase down. I'll sleep on the couch. Dante, that couch is like 6 feet long and you're 6'3". I know. I'll manage. He runs a hand through his hair. A gesture I'm learning means he's uncomfortable. This is already complicated enough without what? He looks at me then, really looks, and the heat in his gaze could melt steel. Without me forgetting this is temporary every time I see you in my space. My heart hammers against my ribs. Maybe I want you to forget. The words hang between us like a lit match near gasoline. Liza. His voice is strained. Don't say things like that unless you mean them. What if I do mean them? He crosses the distance between us in 2 strides, cups my face with both hands. Then we're both in serious trouble, Because I haven't stopped thinking about kissing you since the restaurant. And that was supposed to be fake. It didn't feel fake. No, he breathes. It really didn't. We're a heartbeat away from kissing again when his phone explodes with notifications. He checks it, and I watch his expression transform from desire to fury in seconds. What's wrong? He hands me the phone wordlessly. It's an article, posted 20 minutes ago. Cavalcanti wedding a sham. Sources claim heir's marriage is contractual arrangement to secure inheritance. My blood turns to ice. There are photos, me arriving at the mansion with one small suitcase, Dante and I maintaining distance at that first gala, even a blurry shot through windows of us in separate wings. Maxwell, Dante spits the name like poison. He's making his move. What do we do? He's already dialing, pacing like a caged panther. Richard, I need damage control. Now. Yes, I've seen it. No, He glances at me. We're going to prove them wrong. When he hangs up, his expression is determined. Pack a bag. We're leaving in an hour. Leaving where? My family's lake house, upstate. We're going to disappear for a weekend. Let our lawyer handle the press, and come back with enough couple photos to make everyone believe this is real. A weekend. Alone. Together. My voice sounds strangled. If you can't handle it, I can handle it, I interrupt, probably too quickly. When do we leave? His smile is slow and dangerous. That's my girl. The drive takes 3 hours. Dante's silent for most of it, fingers drumming on the steering wheel while he navigates winding roads. I watch the city disappear, replaced by trees and mountains and sky so big it makes me dizzy. Tell me about your parents, he says suddenly. The request surprises me. Why? Because we're supposed to be madly in love, and I realized I don't know the most important things about you, the real things. So I tell him, about Dad's terrible jokes and Mom's incredible cooking, about Sunday dinners that lasted hours, filled with laughter and warmth, about the car accident that took them both on a rainy Tuesday, how one moment I had parents and the next, I had only grief. That's why the bakery matters so much, he says softly. It's where they lived. Every recipe, every table, every stupid flower handprint on the wall from when I was 7. My voice cracks. It's all I have left of them. That and Grandpa Ernest. He reaches over, laces his fingers through mine. I understand. My grandmother was the only person who ever really saw me. Not the heir, not the investment. Just me. When she died, it felt like the last good part of my world disappeared. Is that why you play piano? She said music was the only honest language, that you couldn't lie through melody. He brings my hand to his lips, kisses my knuckles softly. I think she'd have liked you. Your honesty. Your fire. I think I would have liked her too. The lake house is less house and more architectural masterpiece. All glass and wood, perched on a cliff overlooking water so blue it hurts to look at. But it's smaller than the mansion, cozier somehow. More dangerous, because there's only one bedroom. I'll take the couch, we both say simultaneously. He laughs, a real laugh that transforms his whole face. Rock, paper, scissors. You're kidding. Dead serious. Best 2 out of 3. I lose spectacularly. Dante grins like he just won the lottery. Couch it is, wife. We spend the afternoon taking photos, walking hand in hand by the lake, me laughing at something he said, him looking at me like I hung the moon. His social media team posts them in real time, and within an hour, the comments flood in with heart emojis and declarations that were couple goals, if they only knew. As sunset paints the sky pink and gold, Dante builds a fire in the stone pit on the deck. We sit with wine and silence, watching flames dance against encroaching darkness. Can I ask you something? I venture. Always. Why haven't you ever been in love? Really in love? He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then, because love is the ultimate loss of control. and control is all I've ever had. My parents barely noticed I existed, too busy with society functions and affairs. My grandfather saw me as a chess piece. The company became my identity because at least I could control that, shape it, build it into something meaningful. That sounds exhausting. It is. He turns to face me, firelight dancing in his eyes. Until you showed up in a flour-dusted apron, threatening to throw bread at my head, and suddenly control didn't seem so important anymore. My breath catches. Dante, I'm falling for you, Liza. The confession tumbles out raw and unpolished. I know I shouldn't. I know we have a contract and an expiration date, and this is the worst possible idea. But I can't help it. You make me want things I never let myself want before. Tears blur my vision. Like what? Sunday mornings with terrible coffee and worse jokes. Someone who sees past the money and the name. A reason to come home that isn't obligation. His hand cups my cheek. You. I'm falling for you too, I whisper. So hard it terrifies me. Good. He smiles through what might be his own tears. Be terrified with me. He kisses me then, soft and sweet, and devastatingly gentle. Not for cameras or appearances, just for us. Because we want to, because we can't not. We break apart breathless, foreheads pressed together, the fire crackling its approval. What happens in 21 days? I ask, the question haunting me. I don't know. His honesty cuts deep. The contract ends, but maybe... He pulls back to look at me. Maybe we write a new one, without lawyers or clauses. Just you and me figuring it out. I'd like that. Yeah? Yeah. We stay by the fire until it burns to embers, talking about everything and nothing. About dreams deferred and futures uncertain. About what it means to choose love when logic screams against it. Later, in the ridiculous bed that could sleep 5 people, I lie awake listening to Dante's breathing from the couch. The ring on my finger catches moonlight, heavy with meaning that's shifted from fake to something achingly real. Liza? His voice cuts through darkness. Yeah? I'm really uncomfortable on this couch. I laugh softly. Want to share the bed? Just sleeping. I promise. You sure? Get over here before I change my mind. He crosses the room in shadows, slides under covers on the opposite side. We maintain careful distance, a foot of space between us that feels like miles. Good night, Dante. Good night, wife. I wake at dawn to find that space gone, his arm draped over my waist, my back pressed against his chest, fitting together like we were designed for exactly this. Neither of us mentions it at breakfast, but we don't need to. Everything has changed, and we both know there's no going back. We return to the mansion on cloud 9, hands intertwined, stealing kisses like teenagers. Everything feels possible. The contract has 5 days left, but it doesn't matter anymore because this is real, we're real, and... Helena meets us at the door with an expression that drains all warmth from my body. Mr. Cavalcanti, we have a situation. Dante's hand tightens around mine. What kind of situation? Maxwell filed a legal challenge this morning. He's demanding an investigation into the validity of your marriage. And... She hesitates, glancing at me with something like pity. There's been an incident at the Morning Star Bakery. My heart stops. What incident? A fire. Last night. Your grandfather is fine, but the bakery... Helena's voice gentles. I'm so sorry, Liza. The world tilts sideways. Dante catches me as my knees buckle. No, 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 no. I'm dialing Grandpa Ernest with shaking hands. It rings 6 times before he answers. Little star. His voice sounds ancient, broken. I was about to call you. Gramps, what happened? Are you hurt? I'm fine, baby. Just some smoke inhalation. But the bakery... He breaks down, sobbing in a way I've never heard. Everything's gone. 50 years of memories just... gone. I'm crying too, Dante's arms the only thing keeping me upright. I'm coming home. Right now. No, you stay with your job. We need that money more than ever now. Insurance will cover some, but... Another sob. I'm so tired, Liza. So tired of fighting. We talk for 10 more minutes. He's staying with Mrs. Cordero. The fire marshal said it was electrical, old wiring that finally gave out. No one's fault. Just terrible, cruel timing. When I hang up, I'm hollow. Numb. The bakery that held every memory of my parents, gone. The reason I signed Dante's contract, meaningless now. I need to go to him, I whisper. Of course, I'll have Thomas. No. I pull away from Dante's embrace. I need to go alone. Figure out what happens next. Liza, you don't have to do this by yourself. Yes, I do. I'm already moving toward the stairs, toward my room, toward escape. This is my mess. My responsibility. It's not a mess. It's life. And you don't... He follows me, frustration bleeding into his voice. Stop pushing me away. I whirl on him. Why? Because we had a nice weekend? Because we said some pretty words by a fire? The words are cruel, designed to hurt. The contract ends in 5 days, Dante. This was always temporary. He flinches like I slapped him. You don't mean that. Don't I? I'm spiraling, self-destructing, burning bridges because burning is all I know how to do right now. You needed a wife to secure your inheritance. I needed money to save a bakery that just burned to the ground. Transaction complete. Game over. It stopped being a transaction the moment I... Don't. I hold up a hand. Don't say you love me. Please don't make this harder than it already is. Silence crashes between us, heavy with everything breaking. I'm going to pack, I manage. Thomas can drive me to the station. I make it to my room, his room, our room, before collapsing. I sob into silk pillows that smell like his cologne, hating myself for pushing away the one good thing in my shattered life. There's a knock. Helena, not Dante. He asked me to give you this. She hands me an envelope. And to tell you that Thomas will take you wherever you need to go. No conditions. Inside the envelope is a check for $100,000. And a note in Dante's precise handwriting. For the bakery, for your grandfather, for you. No strings attached. You were never a transaction to me. D. I cry harder, because of course he did this. Of course he's trying to save me even while I'm destroying us. The drive to Grandpa Ernest's temporary shelter at Mrs. Cordero's house takes forever. When I finally arrive, he's sitting in her kitchen, looking older than I've ever seen him. Little star. He opens his arms, and I collapse into them. What are you doing here? Your job? There is no job, Gramps. The lies are ash in my mouth. I need to tell you something, about where I've really been. So I do. I tell him everything. The debt, the contract, the fake marriage. Dante. Falling in love with someone I was only supposed to pretend with. The bakery burning down and how it feels like the universe is punishing me for lying. He listens without interruption, his weathered hands holding mine. When I finish, expecting anger or disappointment, he simply says, "Do you love him?" What? This Dante. Do you love him? The truth rises up, undeniable. Yes, so much it terrifies me. Then why are you here instead of with him? Because I don't know how to let someone help me. Because everyone I love leaves, Mom, Dad, now the bakery, and it's easier to push him away first before he realizes I'm not worth staying for. The words echo in Mrs. Cordero's small kitchen, raw and bleeding. Grandpa Ernest cups my face with flour-dusted hands that smell like home. Oh, my darling girl, you think you're not worth staying for? You who sacrificed everything for an old man and his dreams? You who wore yourself thin trying to save a building? The bakery was everything. The bakery was bricks and ovens, he interrupts gently. What matters is right here. He taps my chest. The love you carry, the memories you hold, those can't burn, little star. And that boy, he sees what I see. Someone worth everything. What if I've already ruined it? Then you fight for it, like your grandmother fought for me when I was too stubborn to see my own worth. His smile is soft. Love isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to be imperfect together. My phone buzzes. A text from Helena. He's been playing piano for 3 hours straight. Won't eat, won't talk. Just plays the saddest songs I've ever heard. Whatever you said to him broke something. My heart shatters all over again. I have to go back, I whisper. Then go. Grandpa Ernest kisses my forehead. Fight for your happiness. I'll still be here. The bakery can be rebuilt. But that boy's heart? He shakes his head. Don't leave that broken little star. The drive back to the mansion feels eternal. I use Dante's check, which I'm absolutely keeping because I'm practical even while heartbroken, to pay Thomas extra to speed. It's nearly midnight when I arrive. The mansion is dark, except for one room. The piano room. I follow the music. Something haunting and beautiful and devastatingly sad. He's playing with his eyes closed, and I can see tear tracks on his face in the low light. Dante. His hands crash discordantly on the keys. He turns, and the hope that flashes across his face before he can mask it nearly destroys me. You came back. I'm so sorry. I cross to him in 3 strides. Everything I said was a lie. I was scared and hurting, and I lashed out at the one person who didn't deserve it. Liza, I love you. The words tumble out desperate and true. I love you so much, and it terrifies me because everyone I love leaves, but I would rather have 5 days with you than a lifetime of safety without you. He stands, cups my face, searches my eyes. You mean that? Every word. I'm broken and scared, and I push people away when I should pull them close. But if you'll have me... He kisses me, deep and desperate, and full of relief. I kiss him back with everything I have, pouring apology and love and promise into it. When we break apart, we're both crying. I love you too. He breathes against my lips. I've been falling since you threatened me with bread, maybe even before. We have 5 days left on the contract. Screw the contract. His laugh is wet, but genuine. I'll tear it up right now if it means keeping you forever. Forever sounds perfect. Yeah. Yeah. He lifts me, carries me to the piano bench, settles me in his lap. Stay with me. Not because of contracts or obligations, just because you want to. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. He plays then, something bright and hopeful, while I lean against his chest and listen to his heartbeat steady beneath my ear. 4 days until the contract ends, but forever until we end. And we're just getting started. Day 30 arrives like a sunrise, inevitable, beautiful, and marking the end of something that was never meant to last. Except we've already decided it won't end. Not really. Dante wakes me with coffee and kisses, both sweet and warm. We've spent the last 4 days inseparable, planning the bakery rebuild, fielding calls from his lawyers about Maxwell's challenge, and simply existing together in a way that feels miraculous. Ready for today? He asks, settling beside me in bed. Today, his 35th birthday, the day the inheritance clause expires, the day Maxwell either wins or loses everything. Are you? With you? I'm ready for anything. He takes my hand, thumb stroking over his grandmother's ring that I haven't removed since he placed it there. Though I should warn you, my lawyer wants us at his office at 10. Some final paperwork to sign. Paperwork on your birthday? How romantic. He grins. I'll make it up to you tonight. I have plans. Should I be worried? Terrified. He whispers against my neck, making me shiver. Absolutely terrified. At 9:30, we're dressed and ready. Him in a navy suit that should be illegal. Me in a cream dress that Helena assured me was perfect for important legal meetings. Whatever that means. The lawyer's office is all mahogany and leather, intimidating in its old money elegance. Richard Morrison, 60-something, with kind eyes and a firm handshake, greets us warmly. Dante, Mrs. Cavalcanti. He still calls me that, even though he knows. Please, sit. We settle into chairs that cost more than my car used to. Dante's hand finds mine immediately. I'll cut to the chase, Richard begins. Maxwell's challenge has been dismissed. The judge reviewed all evidence, the photos, the testimonies, the documentation, and determined your marriage is legitimate and binding.
Relief floods through me. Dante's entire body relaxes beside me. However, Richard continues, and my stomach drops. There's a complication with the will itself. What complication? Dante's voice goes sharp. Your grandfather included a clause we overlooked initially. The marriage must last a minimum of 1 year to satisfy the inheritance terms. If you divorce before that, Richard spreads his hands apologetically. Everything goes to Maxwell. The room spins. 1 year.
We agreed to 30 days. The contract ends today. We love each other, yes. But marriage for a full year, that's... So we stay married, Dante says simply. I turn to him, shocked. Dante, you can't just... Why not? He pivots to face me fully, taking both my hands. Liza, I was planning to propose again anyway. A real proposal, not a business transaction. This just moves up my timeline. You were going to propose? Eventually, after properly courting you, taking you on actual dates, meeting your grandfather officially. His smile turns sheepish. I had a whole plan, very romantic, probably involving the piano. Despite everything, I laugh. Of course you had a plan. But here's the thing. He slides off his chair, and my heart stops because he's kneeling. Right here, in his lawyer's office, in front of Richard, who's pretending to examine papers. Liza Mendonça, I fell in love with you in a bakery that smelled like cinnamon and hope. You saved me from a life of cold transactions and empty rooms. You taught me that control is overrated and love is worth every terrifying second. Tears blur my vision. I don't need a year to know I want forever with you. So I'm asking. Not because of inheritances or contracts or obligations, but because I cannot imagine my life without you in it. Will you marry me? Again? For real this time? We're already married. I manage through tears. Technically. His smile is pure sunshine. But I want to do it right. I want your grandfather there. Your friends. I want to stand in front of everyone who matters and choose you, loudly and publicly, with no expiration date. That's the most unromantic romantic proposal ever. Is that a yes? I pull him up, cup his face, and kiss him with everything I have. Yes. Yes to staying married. Yes to a real wedding. Yes to forever with you, you beautiful, controlling, piano-playing disaster of a man. He laughs against my lips, spinning me around in Richard's very professional office, while his lawyer politely excuses himself. I love you, Dante breathes. So much. I love you too, even though you proposed in a lawyer's office. I'll propose again, better, with the piano and everything. You better. That evening, Dante makes good on his birthday plans. He drives us to the lot where the bakery once stood, now cleared of debris, a blank slate waiting to be rebuilt. Except it's not blank. It's filled with people. Grandpa Ernest stands in the center, grinning wide, Mrs. Cordero beside him, Helena, Thomas, even some of Dante's business associates I recognize from events. And they're all holding... candles? What is this? I whisper. A new beginning, Dante says softly. Come on. We walk hand in hand to the center of the gathering. Someone, I suspect Helena, has set up a small platform with blueprints displayed. Grandpa Ernest embraces me first, then Dante. So this is the boy who stole my granddaughter's heart. Guilty, Dante. But in my defense, she stole mine first. Good answer, Grandpa Ernest beams. Now, shall we show her? Dante unfurls the blueprints. We're rebuilding the Morning Star Bakery, Same location, same heart, but bigger, with a cafe space, community ovens for neighborhood bakers, and an apartment upstairs large enough for your grandfather and whoever else needs a home. I'm crying again, but these are happy tears.
Dante, there's more. He points to the sign design. The Cecilia and Ernest Mendonça Bakery, named for your parents and your grandfather, so their legacy lives on. I can't speak, can't breathe, can only throw my arms around him while everyone cheers. How did you? I'm very rich and very motivated when it comes to making you happy, he murmurs into my hair. Get used to it. As the sun sets, someone starts playing acoustic guitar. People begin to dance on the empty lot where my past burned down and my future is being built. Dante pulls me close, and we sway under strings of lights that appeared from nowhere. Best birthday ever? I ask. Best life ever, he corrects. Because you're in it. That was incredibly cheesy. You love it. I really do. Later, when the party winds down and we're back at the mansion, our home now truly, Dante leads me to the piano room. He plays the song from our first night, when I couldn't sleep, and he let me see his soul through music. But this time, he sings. His voice is rough but honest, turning melody into promise. 30 days to fall in love. 30 days that weren't enough. Now I'm asking for forever. Will you stay and brave this weather, through every storm, through every fight? Be my morning, be my night. 30 days became my life. Will you always be my wife? He finishes and looks up. Vulnerable and hopeful and entirely mine. That was terrible, I say, but I'm smiling through tears. I know. I'm better at piano than lyrics. Lucky I love you anyway. Yeah? He pulls me onto his lap, right where I belong. How much? Enough to deal with your terrible singing for the rest of my life. That's true love right there. We sit in comfortable silence, his arms around me, the future spread before us like an unwritten song. The contract expired at midnight. But our story, our real story, it's just beginning. And it's going to be beautiful. 1 year later, the smell of fresh bread pulls me from sleep at 5 in the morning, just like it always has. Except now, I wake up in silk sheets worth more than my old car, in a bedroom that overlooks manicured gardens, with my husband's arm draped possessively around my waist. My real husband, not fake, not temporary. Real. You're thinking too loud, Dante mumbles into my neck, voice rough with sleep. Go back to bed. Can't. Grand reopening today, remember? He groans, but tightens his hold. 5 more minutes. You said that 20 minutes ago. This time I mean it. I laugh, turning in his arms to face him. Even sleep-rumpled and grumpy, he's devastatingly handsome. The past year has softened some of his sharp edges. He smiles more, laughs easier, plays piano just because he wants to, rather than to escape. Come on, birthday boy. Your grandfather-in-law will kill you if you're late to his big day. That gets him moving. In the year since we stayed married, really married, Grandpa Ernest has become the father figure Dante never had. They spend Sunday mornings together drinking terrible coffee and arguing about sports, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. We arrive at the Cecilia and Ernest Mendonça Bakery at 6 a.m., and my heart swells. It's perfect. The building rises 3 stories, bakery on the ground floor, cafe space with community tables on the second, and apartments on the third where Grandpa Ernest lives in comfortable retirement. The new ovens are state-of-the-art, but designed to look vintage. The floors are reclaimed wood from the original bakery, and on the wall behind the counter, preserved under glass, are my childhood flower handprints that Dante somehow salvaged from the fire debris. You're crying again, he says softly, wiping my tears with his thumb. Happy tears, the best kind. Grandpa Ernest emerges from the kitchen in his old apron, flour dusting his silver hair. Little star, and my favorite grandson. I'm your only grandson, Dante points out, but he's grinning. Details.
Grandpa Ernest pulls us both into a hug that smells like cinnamon and home. Ready to feed the neighborhood? The line outside is already forming. Our old customers, new ones drawn by social media buzz, and everyone who watched our story unfold over the past year. The viral video of Dante punching Maxwell? Now it's known as the most romantic moment in modern history, according to at least 3 YouTube compilations. Maxwell, for his part, contested the will for exactly 6 months before giving up. Dante bought out his shares in the family company for a generous sum, and last I heard, he moved to Europe. Good riddance. At 7 a.m. sharp, we open the doors. The crowd floods in, and chaos ensues, the best kind. Dante, surprisingly, jumps behind the counter to help. He's learned to work the register and even makes decent coffee, though he draws the line at actual baking. Some things require talent, he'd said when I tried to teach him. I have money, you have talent. It's a perfect division of labor. Around 9, Helena arrives with Thomas, both carrying enormous gift baskets. From the company board, Helena explains, they're thrilled with the press this place is getting. It's true. Dante's approval ratings shot up after he married the bakery girl who stole his heart. Turns out people love a good redemption story. Cold CEO transformed by genuine love. His company's stock has never been higher. But the best part? He actually enjoys running it now. With the inheritance secure and Maxwell gone, he's transformed Cavalcanti Enterprises into something meaningful. Investing in small businesses, funding community projects, using wealth as a tool for good rather than just accumulation. Your husband is signing autographs, Grandpa Ernest chuckles, nodding toward where Dante poses for selfies with teenage girls who think he's totally hot for an old guy. He's 36, I protest. Ancient, Grandpa Ernest agrees solemnly. By noon, we're sold out of everything. Dante finds me in the kitchen, flour in my hair and frosting on my cheek, exhausted and exhilarated. Success? He asks. Beyond my wildest dreams. He kisses me, sweet and soft and full of promise. Just wait until you see your birthday present. Dante, you already rebuilt an entire bakery. That's present enough for a lifetime. Too bad. You're stuck with me and my excessive gift-giving forever. His grin turns mischievous. Besides, this one took months to plan. That evening, after the bakery closes and cleanup is done, Dante drives us back to the mansion. Except we don't stop at the mansion. We keep going, up into the hills, until we reach a property I've never seen before. It's a house. Not as massive as the mansion, but beautiful. Modern lines with warm touches, huge windows overlooking the city, and a garden that stretches toward the sunset. What is this? I breathe. Ours. If you want it. He takes my hand, nervous in a way I rarely see. I know you love the mansion, but I thought, maybe we could have a place that's just ours. No family history, no ghosts. Just us, building something new. I'm crying again. Seriously, I've turned into a complete mess this past year. But these are happy tears. Always happy tears now. There's a piano room, he continues, leading me inside, and a kitchen designed specifically for a master baker. Guest rooms for when we have kids. He stops, suddenly uncertain. I mean, if you want kids. We've never really talked about... I kiss him quiet. I want everything with you. This house, those hypothetical kids, every messy, beautiful, imperfect moment. Relief washes over his face. Yeah? Yeah. He shows me the rest. The master suite with a balcony facing east for sunrise. The library filled with first editions and cookbooks. The wine cellar he's already stocked with my favorites. Every room designed with thoughtfulness that makes my heart ache. But the best part is the backyard. Because there, under string lights that twinkle like stars, is a small crowd. Our crowd. Grandpa Ernest, Helena and Thomas, Mrs. Cordero, Dante's business partners who've become genuine friends, and at the center, a minister, Dante Cavalcanti, I whisper. What did you do? You said I proposed wrong the first time. Too unromantic. So, he drops to one knee right there, pulling out a box I haven't seen before. Inside is a new ring. Delicate, beautiful, with a stone that catches light like captured moonlight. This was actually my grandmother's engagement ring. The other was her wedding band. I wanted you to have both. He slides it on my finger next to the band I've worn for a year. They fit together perfectly, like they were always meant to be paired. Lisa Mendonça Cavalcanti, love of my life, baker of the world's best cinnamon rolls, woman who taught me that the best things in life can't be controlled or planned. Will you marry me? Again? Right now? In front of everyone who matters, with no contracts or expiration dates, just pure, terrifying, beautiful love. I pull him up, kiss him hard enough to make our guests whistle and cheer. Yes, always yes. We get married again. A real ceremony this time, with vows we wrote ourselves. I promise to be patient with his controlling tendencies and always save him the last cinnamon roll. He promises to play piano whenever I can't sleep and never let me face my fears alone. Grandpa Ernest cries through the whole thing. So does Helena. So do I. When the minister pronounces us husband and wife, for the second but definitely final time, Dante kisses me like I'm his oxygen, his gravity, his entire world. Because I am. Just like he's mine. The party goes late into the night. Someone sets up a portable piano, and Dante plays while people dance on grass still wet with evening dew. Grandpa Ernest tells embarrassing stories about my childhood. Helena reveals that she knew we were actually falling in love from day 3. The way he looked at you, she explains over champagne. Like you were the solution to an equation he didn't know he was trying to solve. That's the nerdiest romantic thing I've ever heard. I laugh. Fits him perfectly, though. Around midnight, Dante and I slip away from our own party, finding a quiet corner of the garden. The city lights twinkle below, and music drifts on the warm air. Happy birthday, wife, he murmurs. Happy everything, husband. He pulls me close, and we sway without music, just the sound of our breathing and distant laughter. Did you ever imagine, I ask, when you walked into that bakery with your leather briefcase and your ridiculous contract, that we'd end up here? No, he admits. I imagined a transaction, a necessary inconvenience, 30 days of pretending and then freedom. And instead, I found you, found home, found every reason to stop pretending and start living. He tips my chin up, his eyes full of everything we've built together. Best 30 days of my life, even better year, and I'm planning on at least 60 more. 60 years? That's ambitious. I'm a Cavalcanti. We think big. I laugh against his lips. Lucky I love your ambition. Lucky I love everything about you. We kiss under stars and string lights in the garden of our new home, surrounded by the echoes of our chosen family celebrating our second first marriage. Somewhere, in a bakery that rose from ashes, dough is rising for tomorrow's bread. In a mansion that became a home, a piano waits to be played. In a city full of millions, 2 people who started with a contract found something money can't buy. Love. Real, messy, terrifying, beautiful love. 30 days of pretending. A lifetime of forever. And it's only just beginning. The end.